All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode. Once again, I'm flying solo this week. My buddy Joe is a little under the weather. Just didn't feel like talking like a robot the entire night. So I'm running flying solo. Shorter and sweeter usually when it's just one of us doing it. But there are some really good books coming out. Maybe not a ton. It's a fifth Wednesday. A lot of times, fifth Wednesdays are tricky because usually when they schedule books, they schedule them on a 4 week process. But there are a lot of some books to really look forward to, and we're going to talk about some of them and see what you think about some of them. So let's jump right in. Let's look at the PowerPoint. Let's go through the slides and see what we're talking about and see where we're going from here. All right, as always, here's our opening slide. 3 main books I sort of like. We're going to talk about some of them when we jump in. But let's talk about what I sort of talked about last week. I didn't spend a lot of time talking about the Venom Lethal Protector. This is the David Nakayama cover. It was a 1 for 25. Key Collector just said it was one of the trending 20. It's a fun cover. It's selling for $25, $30 right at ratio. So good spec there if you picked one up. This Rogues Comics cover is not a lot of sales. Or I'll take it back. There are a lot of sales sitting between anywhere from 39 when it first came out to in the 45, 50 range right now. There's still people asking 75 for it. It's not like a skyrocketing jumping book, but you can find a copy of it, but all of them are over ratio. It's a 1 for 25. Haven't read the book. I don't know how good it is. In fact, I didn't even make it to my LCS to pick up new books this week. And then finally, a book that I thought would be hot, and I was really wrong. This was Derek Chu, Task Force Z, issue number 6, the 1 for 25 cover. I just got one on eBay for $9, or maybe it was even less than that. So it's not even selling for ratio. Don't know much about it. I just thought, okay. So I threw a bid in an auction and it's closed and $9. Hey, Ronnie, thanks for being here. Yo, what's up? Double O, glad you're here. Thank you guys for popping in, saying hello. So, but yeah, it's sort of fun. Let's get into the books for this week. Big book this week. Something is Killing the Children. Big book this week. And your stores know it. If you go to League of Comic Geeks and you check out, there's probably 25, 30 different covers. So, I like that. You picked up 2 of the good pickup on Facebook there. These are not store exclusives. I don't like to show store exclusives. There's some that I like. There's some that I pick up. I've ordered mine. I grabbed the Adam Hughes that are floating around out there. But these are some of the incentive variants. There's Friston always does the kickoff. I crack up at this because Boom came out and they said, you know what, issue 16 of Something's Killing the Children is going to be the last store exclusives for Something's Killing the Children. And then issue 21 rolls around. They said, we're losing money. I don't know if that's what they actually said, but sure does feel like it because, man, there's like 20 different stores doing store variants, and some of them are good. After a while, how many different poses of Erica Slaughter can you have? Pick the one you like the best. Pick the one from the artist, or maybe you support a store. But I like my Friston. Friston, there's one of her wearing a mask covering her face. There's the bloody version of the one wearing the mask. Those are just, I guess, B and C covers. Then there's the bloody version and where the mask is removed and she's holding her little octopus that she carries around with her. So those are 1 for 50s. They're definitely, if you can pick one up, it's worth picking up. Then you have the 1 for 100 Del Auto, and then you have a 1 for 25 as well. So lots of different store exclusives or incentives to go after, but always be careful, guys. Always be careful when you're talking a 1 for 100. You go, oh man, that's gold. 30 different stores, 20 different stores are doing store exclusives. If they ordered 500 copies to do their store exclusive, or 1,000, because I don't think they can do 200 and 300s. They probably at least did 500. I think it might be pushing 750 or 1,000 for their exclusives. You're talking each store got 7, 8, 9, 10 copies of this 1 for 100 Del Auto. Just keep that in mind when you're thinking, okay, dropping big money. If you like the cover, which I sort of do, I'm looking at under ratio to pick it up. That's just me. I don't like to spend big bucks. I miss out on some, but I also don't bite the bullet quite as often either. So let's leave Something's Killing the Children. Let's go into another. This is just fun. I don't know if you guys have been picking up the X-Men Grand Design. I think was the first, and there's Fantastic Four grand design by Jim Rugg and Ed Piskor, and just sort of a fun storytelling, reflecting back. Oh, yeah, Double O. There are so many store variants for that one. But this, I like this grand design. I might pick these up. I have not picked. I have looked at. I like the art in them. I have not picked them up because when you're a spec person, sometimes you go, I'll just wait to read it online, or I'll just because I do the Marvel Unlimited subscription, so I pay to read them. I don't just do the random sites that you can go to as often. But Hulk grand design, I love this. Of course, everyone loves the homage covers to McFarlane, so fun one to pick up there. I think that, yeah, Ed Piskor does that one. Then Momoko has a cover. I actually like this Momoko cover. Some people like Momoko, people don't. But this is one of her better ones. That she's not doing the swirly thing like she does, so I might look for that one as well. Guys, I'm not covering where I'm showing you 3 and 4 and 5 covers of every book. This time I'm spending more time sort of picking out certain covers or books. These are maybe somethings. This time, these are not incentives. These are the cover A's for this book. If you like the Sean Murphy White Knight world, which I do, then I will be checking out this Batman Beyond the White Knight, because this is Sean Murphy's Murphyverse, or whatever you want to call it, Batman Beyond story. So I want to see what it is. I want to pick it up and look at it, see if he did Azrael, he did so many different ones, and I'm excited to see what he does with this. And this is cover A. It's gorgeous. I like it. The Shadow War Alpha. This is kicking off a big Batman world crossover event. Might be some new bad guy teams or things in here. I think there's something in. I like the cover A. It's just sort of great. But then the next week in Batman picks up with some of it. And I'm sure Detective has it. Detective just ended its big thing with the tower a few weeks last week. And then this is X-Men Unlimited Latitude. This is a web comic that Marvel Unlimited has. This is the comic book version, but you can read it through Marvel Unlimited. And I read it when I saw this book's coming out. I was like, I read it online web version. It is gorgeous. It like entire premise of Wolverine shooting into space and then like dropping. So you have these scenes where it's just him falling. And on a web comic, all you do is scroll. So you're just constantly scrolling, and it's just him falling. It's gorgeous. I'm curious to see how it's done in comic book format. But definitely gonna check this book out and look at it and see. Don't believe, even if there's mutants that are kidnapped in the story. Don't know two of the mutants kidnapped in the story. Um, you see the third mutant. I don't know who it is yet. I don't know if it's a new one or an old one. So I'm curious to see where it goes. I haven't read far enough into the story to know. Covers we do like. Here's some more fun covers for you. Patrick Gleason's at it again. Um, Love it or hate it, he does have a nice style. I mean, he's more talented than just doing this webhead thing, but I do like this one. This is Amazing Spider-Man 93. This is the end of the run. Ben Reilly becomes Chasm, I think is the name that he's going to become. The end of what's going on and the new status quo. All the previews you see for Amazing Spider-Man 1 with the millions of covers that are going to be out for that are talking about basically Spider-Man just being back to crap done all his life and type thing. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm curious, but I do like this. I think this is a virgin cover. I don't think this is actually available except for on Gleason's site. There's a trade that comes across this, like right across the like where the mouth would be is where you can see the trade of it. This Dark Ages #6. This is Stephanie Hahn's cover, 1 for 25. Gorgeous cover. Already people are asking $45, $50 for it. It's a 1 for 25. So if you can grab it for ratio, grab it for ratio. Her stuff tends to stick around that $25 to $40 range. Some of them take off. This is one that I can see taking off. It's a gorgeous cover. Doesn't really matter what happens inside of it. It's about the look of the book. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Carnage Forever. I don't usually do the theme, but this is a great Tyler Kirkman cover. When I was looking at Midtown, looking at the covers, this wasn't shown. This was shown in League of Comic Geeks, but it wasn't shown at Midtown. I don't know if they didn't get copies of it or what's going on there. Um, I'm picking up the Miles story because it's building towards this uh, crossover world hopping. I think it actually going to connect to the what if stories, the Miles Morales what if stories. So you never know what type of characters are going to appear. I'm betting on Miles Morales 38 and maybe even 37 being big because you get an older version of his sister. So some of that I'm keeping in mind, and I'm definitely at least picking up one copy, if not from 35 through 38 till the story is sort of done. Some more covers we like. Uh, and I don't know why I like these covers necessarily. I don't know how much spec value this Essentia. I don't get how these books, every Essentia book seems like it has a pretty popular artist or a unique artist, and they get to do a unique spin. I have no idea what's happening. Back in issue 5, Perillo, gorgeous cover that was a quick flip if you picked it up, and then they had a second print, and then everyone had the second print, so it wasn't worth anything. This is Ben Oliver, issue number 11. Just something about Ben Oliver doesn't get enough credit. I love his covers. I mean, not his. He did a bunch of DC covers that are gorgeous, and he's done Armies of Darkness covers that are great. I really do like this cover. I don't know anything about the book. I know that there's a Jim Lee 1 for 25 incentive for number 1. Yeah, double O. Yeah, Jim Ben Oliver does awesome work. If you don't know his stuff, I even did like a write up a year, probably mid pandemic. I did a write up on him and covered some of his art. So this is a new cover coming out. If your store gets Essentia, that's the thing. It's sold out at Midtown. Uh, it's probably so a lot of the online stores is probably sold out at. So this might be something to, if your store gets these books, it might be something to keep your eye out on Wednesday. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, James, the vintage Vampirilla. I never really covered Dynamite, but yeah, his covers are. If I was going to cover him, I leave that to Morello. His cover fire, but his Vengeance of Vampirilla covers are gorgeous. Then here's another Friston cover. This is a one shot 20th anniversary. Buffy. There's a black and white version. I think there's another version of it as well. If you're a Buffy fan and these are the covers, I probably would look at this. I think this is the one for 25. I'm not quite for sure. And then there's black and white, like I said, and another version. And there's also some photo covers. Those are fun as well. So if you're a Buffy fan, that might be worth checking out. And then this Dark Stalkers Morgana #1. This is Udon. Udon does video game stuff mainly for this, and this is a video game Darkstalkers, but this is one for 5. When you Google and you do eBay searches, evidently some stores are doing exclusives for this. I didn't even know about this book coming out. But this is one for 5. I like you when you're talking about these really obscure books and obscure labels, maybe something's there. Indie Spotlight, guys, it's sort of weird going through the books, and we'll look at some of the incentives. It's hard to do. I don't like doing ones, and then when we always talk about Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, I thought Joe would be on here to talk about how good the book is because I've only read part of issue 1. I haven't finished it. Just I got distracted, couldn't. He says it's a cinematic. It's well done. Remender's doing a great job. I'm waiting for the trade. I'm just going to read all one final shot. If you didn't pick up Step by Bloody Step, gorgeous book, silent book. This is a Momoka cover. Once again, Momoka's doing books I like. I don't know why I say it. Like, generally speaking, if you follow me, I end up liking more of her stuff than most people do. Her stuff is not as flippable as it once was, but she definitely has her fans. I like it anytime she actually does content and she doesn't do the little swirly thing that's designed for trading cards. And then the Cities of Magic struck me as interesting. I think it's Scout is doing it. It's just the idea of entire towns built around the idea of magic. I always like that and checking that type of stuff out. Scout is hit or miss for me as far as books go, but I will probably try to check this out and look at it. Let's look at some incentive variants. There's not a ton. Like I said, it's week 5 Wednesday, but Animal Castle, this cover's gorgeous. It's the Winter Animals Virgin cover, so it's like the 1 for 10. And then there's a 1 for because they do 3 covers and they do virgin versions of all the covers. I like this cover. I quick flipped issue 1. I haven't been reading it. I read issue 1, liked it, but once I found out it was based off of a French novel, I'm like, I'll just wait for the trade. I have limited space. I can't hold on to everything. A couple other books on here. If you see Killer Affairs Estate, I really liked issue 1. I'm going to pick up issue 2 because issue 1 was really good for not having as much action as you hope for a book about an assassin. But I want to see where issue 2 goes, so I will try to pick it up. I'm gonna try to grab the 1 for 10 Danny cover. It's pretty cool. I like the look of it. I don't know if you guys, the DC Batman Phase Clan, I didn't like those other ones. I'm not gonna pick that up. Uh, yeah, Double I agree. Momoko does backgrounds, not just characters, and it's usually better. Yeah, when she does more than just the character, they are usually better. DC Sensational Wonder Woman Special number 1. There's some variants there that were worth checking out. And then, yeah, let's go on to the next page. And once again, I had this thrown in here for if Frank had ever come back, or for Joe. Ashley Wood's revisiting his zombie versus robots. These are classics, so these are the same stories. I'm not sure what he's doing to make them extra. But if you like Ashley Wood, if you forgot about Ashley Wood, hey, he's coming out. But there's also an incentive. So if you're an Ashley Wood fan, I don't know how many stores are going to buy 25 copies of this, because Ashley Wood fans are rabid fans that love his stuff, but they already pre-ordered it. So I mean, would they pre-order 25 copies just to make sure they get the one? Some of them are crazy enough to do that. So there could be some value here in this incentive book or whatever. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, guys. If you don't know, Venus de Milo is finally making her official Turtles appearance. Though, from what I understand, she does appear in issue 117 as like a cameo image or whatever. I haven't read the book, so I don't know, but I know that's been highlighted before. I think that Eastman cover of this, which was is the one that shows her on the cover. The other two don't show her yet, but she's supposed to make her appearance in issue 127. So if you're big into Turtles and all that crazy spec, because when Jennico was created, everyone went crazy thinking, oh, it's like Venus, but Venus never actually appeared. I don't follow the Turtles. I just know the gossip. And worth checking out. Radiant Black is back after you've had, what are they called? You have the big one shot, then you had Rogue Sun, then you had Radiant Red. Now Radiant Black is back with issue 13, kicking off. Sir, now that all these people are here, what do we do? I do like the Tom Whalen cover. It's sort of nice. It's very similar to the Radiant Red. I think he has a series of them, and they're just sort of fun. The Keen Spot book that you see down there, the Quintera Stone number 1. The cover reminds me of Azrael from Batman World. Ken Lashley's doing the cover. There's also a foil that he does a cover. Lashley does the pair does the cover A, and then there's a foil and I think a sketch for it as well that are incentives. Or there's a lot of covers for this, probably 4 or 5. King Spot sort of does your store might only have 5 copies, but all 5 copies are a different cover. It seems to be how it's done. And then finally, you get your Marvel incentives. Not as many. Like I said, it's a 5th Wednesday. So Marvel doesn't release quite as many books because they like to stay on there every 4 weeks, release that issue type thing. Like I said, Spider-Man's ending before it picks up and goes crazy again. Maybe Spider-Man will go back to once a month. At my pocketbook would definitely like once a month. We talked about a few of these. This is Ghost Rider. I was basically just looking for a cover to throw up there. I do sort of like it. This is Ghost Rider's Daniel Acuna cover. Don't know any spec value of it. And then we've talked about the Latitude and everything like that. Guys, that's it. That's all. Done. No more, no other books to really talk about. There's some, if you catch my article when it drops on Monday with the video, you'll see a little bit more of my thoughts as I get a chance to process as I watch the weekend and see where the talk is happening when I watch the Facebook group and I watch Instagram and I get to see the different things. That's where you sort of get to see it. So that's sort of how this flows. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for participating in the chat. Yeah, Double. I'm behind on the Radiant Black. I read the first 6. I read Rogue Sun and Supermassive. I couldn't remember the name, but I'm behind. There's something when you're reading, you're trying to keep up and you're trying to stay relevant and knowing what's going on. And especially, guys, because I'm trying to do this thing with Peter Renna and Jack Hornblack, who write for CBSI, where we're trying to pick a topic like we did Moon Knight, and we try to do our favorite runs. Well, you have to read enough to write an intelligent article. So we're doing that. This week is Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, crap, there's stuff I haven't read. So we're about to drop that this weekend as well. It's just sort of fun. We're gonna you can always throw comments in there. Hey, cover these series, read this series or whatever, and we can do some of that. It's fun to try to tackle things topically. Um, and if you haven't been paying attention, those few that are watching, I'm sure you have, Nova is almost official now. So we're gonna get Nova. Nova's something I'm definitely excited about. I need to go back and read the Bronze Age stuff and the really terribly drawn 90s stuff and the new Warriors. And then I love the Abbott and Lanning run, which I really imagine most of it's gonna be either pull from that or pull from when Sam Alexander's Nova. So guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, you can like, subscribe, give me thumbs up, tell me what you like, tell me what books you're picking up, all those different things in the comments. Um, I love the participation. I don't know what it's so appreciative, especially when I don't have someone to bounce and talk off of. But yep, this is CBSI. This is comicbookinvestment.com. I'm Chris Nelms. This is Comic Talk and Sketches. See ya next week.